Central Ohio, America, Europe, and beyond, wherever you're watching from. Thanks for tuning in here tonight. It has been a while, people. That's right, we took a little break for the summer months, and then now the fact that you're seeing me lets you know the fall sports, they are back, baby. That's right, and we already have a lot to talk about, so we are going to break down quite a few different topics tonight, but not too many. We're going to ease back into the process here and get you all the things that you want to hear about, of course. But by we, I mean me. I'm Brian Skowronski. I am the co-host here tonight. Plus, I got my boy Travis Berardi here in the building, fresh off a trip back to his homeland in West Virginia.
Draft day.
Fantasy football draft.
Yes, sir.
I knew the words West Virginia was going to come up, so I'm just ripping the Band-Aid off. I am starting right away. So, fantasy draft, you and the boys.
Yep.
Give us some insight. How did last night go for you?
I think it went pretty well for me. The way we do our draft order, the champion picks a name out of the hat. Whoever that person's name gets picked, you get to pick what spot you draft. I was the one that got the name picked out of the hat.
Hey.
So we did keeper quarterbacks this year. So with Josh Allen, number one pick, Saquon Barkley. Got Saquon Barkley in the first pick. Snakes back round, got Drake London. Wide receiver with my first wide receiver. Then I get the second pick immediately, Devon Achane. I know he's hurt right now. There's, but you go for the ceiling more than the injury. Yeah, so I got, back and forth with that. Really good draft. I think I have a chance. Last year I missed out on the playoffs by 10 points in the final game because Brock Purdy put up 1 point on Sunday Night Football and Christian McCaffrey got hurt against Buffalo. That knocked me out of the playoffs, or I would have won the whole thing. That hurt, but I'm looking for revenge. That's the one. Then the fantasy league that you love, the touchdown only league. That's next week. That draft is next Sunday at Gulford Lake. We got a house up there for that. We're staying overnight on Sunday, but that's solid draft. I know you're in one here coming up as well.
I'm with a bunch of my high school friends, and I did not realize this until it was pointed out to me. So thanks, Kenny. He said we've been doing this for 8 years. There's 10 of us in the league. I'm one of only 2 people that have not won it yet. So it's been nobody's doubled up. It's been all new people. I've been the number 1 seed going into the playoffs 4 years, including last year, and I got beat by less than 1 point in the championship round. So I was runner-up last year on a play that didn't matter at the end of the game. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I have not forgiven you for what you did to me with that 55-yard screen pass to end my dreams of being fantasy football champion. But I digress, man, because we got a lot to talk about here tonight. Including some really big headlines in high school sports. So you and I, we've got a few topics that we're going to jump into and just kind of sprinkle around some love, man. We'll talk about a little bit of cross country. We got some soccer. We had one team in a rivalry head-to-head that got all the wins this past weekend, so I'll let you know who that was. Plus, of course, we got your Friday Night Phenoms. Travis, that's kind of been your specialty the last couple of seasons.
Yes, sir.
So the top individual efforts. And, dude, we're off to a pretty great start in week 1. Huge numbers.
Huge numbers, huge games. How many games we do? About 15 total.
15.
3 on Thursday, 7 live streams, 4 highlights on Friday, and then we had that bonanza of St. Paul and Port Clinton. That game wouldn't end. I know. I feel bad for Adam Thompson. I think he's still trying to recover from that game. I left the community event in Mount Gilead and it was maybe halftime. I got back to Massillon. And the game wasn't even over yet. It was about 10:30 or something like that. They just kept playing.
I also had a soccer match. I got home, too. Just assuming it'd be over.
Right?
Hell no. There was still about a half hour of time that I got to watch. I was like, what?
And St. Paul almost pulled off the comeback from that, too. A big, great game.
Yeah, it really
great game, at least. Sometimes you get those long blowouts, kind of like mine with one of our new teams. It just kept going. They had the running clock right before the half, but then Worcester took a kickback for a touchdown, turned off the running clock. Then they score again, and Worcester scores again. So you're sitting at a 27-point margin for half the game, and then finally at the end they run it again, and you're like, come on now. So I'd rather have that than this, but I digress. It's week 1. We're done. Now to week 2.
So football's back, not just for high school. We got a pretty big game coming up on Saturday. I know college foosball, it returned this past week.
Yeah, but West Virginia and Robert Morris, right?
Yeah, we all had that one circled on the calendar. So this side projects, Buckeyes, number 2 in the country versus number 1 coming to Columbus on Saturday. I have very few details on what I think about this game. I haven't got my full scouting report yet, but we'll pull it up talk about it a little bit tonight and get you all pumped up for Buckeyes versus Texas round 2. Also, we're going to revisit some summer fun action that Travis and I had. So it's not all work around here. We got to do a little bit of play. I had a couple adventures. Travis as well went to some new cities. So we're going to show you a few of our favorite picks and videos and just break down what it is that we do when there's not high school sports going on. And also, as Travis mentioned, he was working on a cool event for the Driven Foundation in Roy Hall.
Great guy.
One of the cooler things that we have going on right now, just in terms of like giving back to the community. So former Buckeye is doing something awesome, and Travis was a big part of it. But I want to dive in 2 feet first into the deep end here, because we're going to start the show with some amazing visuals off of the gridiron. Your nominees for the top 10 plays of the week from week number 1. It's the top 10 plays of the week in no specific order, all presented to fans by Spherion Mid-Ohio. Nominee number 1 from Thursday night, when Colonel Crawford Jr. wideout Parker Weithman only needed the amount of hands on his jersey number to bring in this 42-yard touchdown and strike a pose, young fella. One of 3 receiving grabs for Weithman on the night, hauling in the one-handed catch in a lopsided win over Fairbanks. Our next nominee features Hillsdale senior running back Owen Sloan, whose jitterbug frees up some space to the outside, and Sloan has the speed to get it done all the way into the corner of the zone. Covering 33 yards to pay dirt, and this play is really all about that first move right there. Great blocking on the perimeter, and Owen does the rest. Let's head out to Bob Wine Field now, where Plymouth has the ball, looking for completion into Lucas territory, and they're going to get one. Only it's to Cubs corner Carter Cox, who takes back the return just outside of the red zone. First career INT for the youngster, helping Lucas shut down their cross-county foes. The backyard rivalry title belt now resides in Lexington, and senior wideout Seven Allen had a lot to say about it. Juking and fighting his way through half of the Ontario secondary for this crazy 60-yard catch and run. Looking way cooler in slow-mo, too. Fakes out everybody to the outside to set up the block and then coasts from there, going for 6, 7. I've got another deep pass on the way at nominee 5, Galleon off to a fast start in their win over St. Mary's, because look at this play by Jacob Chambers. Finding the ball out of the clouds and spins his way in for a Tiger touchdown. One more look at this rainbow pass from Aiden Schmidt, giving his best play threat a chance to win the ball, and it works out 50-yard strike in a 35-6 victory. Some QB on QB crime. Checking in on our next spot, Calvert backed up in their own end, seeking some breathing room, but Mohawk quarterback Andon Klaus undercuts the throw, shakes off a would-be tackler, and rumbles back 25 yards for a Warrior score as the defending N10 Chaps crush the Senecas 39-6. Next, we spread some love from the heart of Ohio, and this kid, Hayden Love, was spreading his all over in the route of Utica, making catches like this and sprinting the rest of the way on a 90-yard hookup from quarterback Blaine Ball right after they just connected on an 80-yard strike. Love was definitely in the air down in the Berg, accounting for 240 yards and 4 scores as the Trojans steamroll on opening night. It would be a tight one until the final whistle in Belleville, but here's how it all ended. With Clear Fork's Nash Evans delivering a walk-off, game-winning field goal against last year's Division IV state runners-up. It was the very first varsity field goal attempt for Evans, who sent the Valley into a frenzy as the Colts ring the victory bell to start the season. The defending Division III state champs made quite a statement in their Week 1 win over Big Walnut, and just watch Carter Belisari rip this ball away from the defender like Arthur pulling the sword from the stone. Massive Watterson touchdown after falling behind by 2 scores, winning the Battle of the Eagles 37-15. Taking us home with nominee number 10 is an actual house call here. Logan Gattuso with the kick 6 on the road in Orville, shrugging off one final Red Rider before fighting off 2 more at the pylon to complete the 72-yard kick return touchdown. Orville got the dub, but the Generals make our countdown in the 114th meeting between these longtime rivals. Make your voice heard and vote for who you think had the top play from week number 1. And for those of you watching live and free right now on our Facebook and our YouTube, make sure that you double dip those votes. Get them in right now when they count ×2, but only while the show is live. If you get them in after, it means nothing, people. So do it
one
now.
vote, but not 2.
Do we still count it as one vote if they do it after? No.
No.
You got to get it in live and free. That's how we do it, Travis.
On the video. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so let's go from the top individual plays to the best individual performances, sir.
Yeah, we had the 8 best performances, phenomenal performances per se, as we bring you the first edition this season of the Friday Night Phenoms, brought to you once again by Spherion Mid-Ohio. It is that time once again for your Friday Night Phenoms, presented to you by Spherion Mid-Ohio. Our first nominee was flipping everywhere for the Orville Red Riders as wide receiver, defensive back Braylon McDuffie did it all on Friday night, catching 9 balls for 72 yards and 2 scores, while also recording a 70-yard pick 6 on the defensive side. Watch out, Pack opponents. This guy is a big threat. Nominee number 2 helped Northridge edge East Knox by 1 point for the second consecutive season while carving through the Bulldog defense as Vikings running back Braden Bingham went off in Howard, recording 18 carries for 240 yards and 3 scores, including the game-winning score late in the 4th. You can't let him get out in space because you will not be able to catch him like this. Nom Nom number 3 is a man you have seen many times on our Phe nominee segment, as he helped lead Hillsdale to a state runner-up finish last season and aims to help get them back to that spot once again. Falcons stud Owen Sloan had himself a season opener to remember, finding pay dirt 3 times against Black River as the Falcons plunder the Pirates for a Week 1 dub. Our 4th nominee aims to be here on the daily, as Lucas's Tim Daly is that next guy for the Cubs, scoring on Plymouth 3 times in their season opening victory while amassing 172 yards on the ground, as the RPO is very alive and well in the Valley. Sometimes all you need is a little love, and that's exactly what nominee number 5 provided the Centerburg Trojans on opening night, as wideout Hayden Love ran wild on the brand new surface, totaling 248 yards while reaching pay dirt 4 times, as one of the favorites to contend for the KMAC title rolled, thanks in part to Hayden Love. All you need is love. Dun, da, 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 da. Our second Mr. Do-It-All breaks into the nominees at number 6 as Colonel Crawford's Parker Weithman showed out on the Ohio Wesleyan turf, hauling in 4 catches for 190 yards and 3 scores. That's a phenomenal 47.5 yards per catch, but he wasn't done there, as he also made a diving interception as the Eagles soared in Week 1 on a Thursday night. Another Thursday night standout was up in Sycamore as Mohawks dual-threat quarterback Andon Klaus made Calvert defenders head spin as he amassed 203 all-purpose yards, throwing for 109 and a score, while rushing for another 94 and a score. But wait, there's more. He also added a pick 6 as the Warriors avenged last season's 1-point defeat to the Senecas. Our final Phe nominee helped finish out the biggest opening weekend in OH.Report history with a clutch performance as Port Clinton's Gavin Cornell made the most of his 5 catches on the night, racking up 146 yards and 4 scores. And just like most of our nominees this week, he also was clutch on the defensive side, securing the game-ending INT to finish a crazy game against St. Paul. There are your 8 nominees. It is now time to cast your vote, with the winner being announced on Friday's episode of The Pigskin, and it's all brought to you by Spherion Mid-Ohio.
So, some pretty good Week 1 performances, Travis.
Pretty good. And as always, right now, double dip. You have a chance with your votes right now on this stream. If you vote, you get 2. Then you'd have to wait for the video to get posted.
Yeah.
That's when you get your single votes. That's what I mean. You still vote after this. It's just it'll be on another post in
Yeah,
it'll
it'll
be
be
posted
dropping
later.
tonight. It'll
Yeah.
be every Monday night after the podcast. We just like to really reward you guys out there. If you're consuming the product all the time, we want to make it worth your while. And I do see that the Colts kick got a vote for the walk-off.
Kickers
Nash
are
Evans.
for the brand. Special
That's
number
sweet.
too. Kid who's wearing number 7. I mean, that's a really good high school football number for you. And always got to love the kickers out there.
How about some love coming in for Hayden Love?
Oh, yeah.
Tim Daly
4
as well. Getting
touchdowns?
some
Like,
votes.
come on.
One of the best breakout performances that I can remember, we were talking about Centerburg football, a lot of the names that we might remember, who's coming back. I don't remember Hayden Love coming up, but you better believe after one performance, we'll never forget the name.
You know how many fantasy owners are picking him up on the waiver wire this week, man?
100% owned now.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
Well, let's jump into some other high school sports topics here of conversation. First, we look out the window and
It was
just
pouring
looked like
a minute
dread
ago.
was like going on outside, and just about 15 miles up the road over at Crestview High School. It's beautiful. Look at this scene that we have. We've got Jonathan Langdon on the call right now. Brandon Powell's on the camera, and the Lady
turn
Cougars
here.
going head to head with the
Ellickson down the
Mounties,
right.
and I think Crestview has a great opportunity to put themselves in contention for that MBC title this year. It's kind of gone back and forth. The Mounties won one, but it's Crestview, Mansfield Christian, usually working it around.
I mean, when you have a
there for the
rainbow in the shot,
competition.
too, like, it's, yeah. What about is Mansfield Christian?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they got themselves a coach and a squad down there too that be maybe coming back to compete for an MBC. But yeah, I think Mapleton had who was the scorer they had the last few years? It was just so dynamic. Put up 5-6 a game.
Brindley?
Yeah.
Brindley Young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's gone, so they're going to have to try to replace a whole lot of scoring there. I think maybe the all-time scorer in the history of the NBC.
Has to be.
Could be wrong on that, but she was pretty awesome. And now Mansfield Christian looks like they're going to be the team to beat in there, but Crestview feel like they're going to have something to say about it. We'll see. Upsets happen all the time. Maybe the Mounties pull it off here tonight on the road. Speaking of being on the road, Travis, that's something that we're doing a lot of this year on the OH.Report, because we're trying to expand live and free.
Yes, sir.
And just kind of infect the entire state of Ohio eventually with our products, because maybe infect's not the right word.
No.
It's
expand.
It's more of a good thing.
Yes,
what we like to
expansion.
think of it. And you're kind of heading up OH.Report East.
Yes, sir. I have officially moved to Massillon, Ohio, right off at 21 there, so right by Strasburg. We did Strasburg last year.
How's the cohabitating going? Because you're not living alone, sir.
No, I'm with my girlfriend, Kelly. Hi, honey, if you're watching right now. I'll be home for dinner here in a little while. But, no, it's going really well. Got an office set up downstairs, which is officially OH.Report World Headquarters East. You will be seeing me, actually, from that office for a few of the Pigskins as well as a couple other shows. We'll have that coming soon here for you guys. But, no, it's going really well. A beautiful house. Got myself a little rec room downstairs office, full bathroom downstairs, too, and all that stuff, but it's going well. It's going well, and it's allowing us to expand, like your plan all along. Why call it the OH.Report, Brian? Like, I don't want it just to be the North Central Ohio Report. We want to take
want to
over
be in
the
all of the
whole state of
communities.
Ohio, and we were able to start now. And like you said, Orrville, thank you for joining the OH.Report family. I was able to call the 114th edition of the rivalry game with Worcester, the 13th longest rivalry being played in the state of Ohio. And Orrville, they look pretty darn good, Brian. I mean, Worcester, we figured, would have some growing pains and bumps just because they're such a young team. But Orrville, they got themselves a line. They got themselves a playmaker right there. Braylon McDuffie, you saw him on one of our phenoms. 7 catches, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 72-yard pick six. The kid is so athletic. He legally decleated a player on defense. A couple big third down conversions where he caught just a needle, threaded the needle, made a catch. And then they also have a running back in Parker Hostetler, who was a second team all-district running back last year in Division IV. This Orrville team missed the playoffs by 1 spot to Upper Sandusky last year. Got a chip on their shoulders and a huge win. They weren't able to make it. They could have had some big playoff points, but Worcester only won 2 games last year.
Yeah,
so that didn't help them out. So Worcester, the first half they looked pretty darn good. It was 14-9 was the score, but then back-to-back pick sixes and a touchdown really did. Orville, they're a team, they're a team to play with here this year. We'll see what they do in the pack. We'll have them 2 more times on the OH Report, and who knows, if they make a playoff run, we'll get them again. We'll also get 3 more volleyball games. But yeah, welcome Orville. We also have another team they'll be bringing on, not this coming Friday, but next Friday as well.
Yeah, Louisville's going to be joining the party
Leopards.
here on the OH Report. So we got the Leopards, a school that has some incredible facilities. We saw inside of the gym, I'm told, the largest video screen in any high school in
Indoors.
the country.
Indoors, yes.
Hello. So we're going to be a part of that. And also going up north, we've worked with Western Reserve. We've worked with Monroeville and St. Paul before. But we're in there kind of like full-time this season. So we're becoming a big reason, if you're a Firelands Conference fan, to tune in any given day of the week. We're going to have football and volleyball going on. And also going to have a little bit of Margaretta
I was about to
here.
say Margaretta, too. There's some
Got
SBC
some volleyball
teams
going
as well,
on.
yeah.
We got contacted by a couple other schools, too. We might jump in. We are packed for football.
Shit.
You already saw the schedule. I can't accommodate no more teams, but we're going to try to bring on some volleyball and maybe some more soccer teams, too.
Yeah, and just when you say the name Margaretta, basketball season is going to be so fun covering them.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the playmakers they have at Margaretta. I mean, Julian Washington. That's going to be some phenomenal watching here on the OH Report. But yeah, Louisville defending state champs in D3. We got them on there. Orville, they won a 2018 state championship. All these other teams. We're just expanding. Expansion is great, and it's great that we're able to get all these teams on the OH Report, and we have so many crew members that are excited to work with us, so we are able to expand. And like I said, on the Phenoms, our biggest opening week ever in OH Report history. All the games that we did, and it went good.
Yeah, this is what we're going with. It was good. Not great, but it was pretty good.
Not bad, not terrible. Not
We
great,
will
but it's
get
good.
to great here. We'll get to midseason form really soon. You talk about all the new teams. How about just all invite them to one place at one time? That's what the Tiger Invitational does at Seneca East. One of the coolest cross-country events that there is. And we had Madeline Zazzuto out there on the case. And I love these events when you get an opportunity to compete against like 30 other schools that are all within your division.
Yeah.
This is what high school sports is all about. Just the competition, Travis.
Yeah.
And we saw big-time performances. A lot of kids hit some PRs here early on in the season. It was hot. It was a little bit muggy, too. But some local kids. How about Carter Boggs showing out for Bucyrus? We had some other locals finish within the top 10, too. So
Yeah.
we always like to head out there to Seneca East. Class act all the way around. Matt Schock and the gang out there that puts this on. It all sets up the Star Stripes and Lights that we'll be at here in a couple of weeks. Our producer, Adam, very excited about it. But both the boys and the girls had 6 total races at the varsity ranks, and then they had middle school, too. So it was an all-day affair up in Attica, and we were glad to be up in there. I tried to make it work.
You tried. Words are hard sometimes.
Yeah. Mid-season form will come.
How about this? In that orange division, you say Carter Boggs, congratulations winning it from Bucyrus, but the overall winners, Mount Gilead. 9 of the top 21 finishers.
That's what they do.
Mount Gilead racers. Isaac McFarland also from Crestview finished 23rd. AJ Griffin 24th from Bucyrus. Also, the black division, too, is more of the bigger schools. We had Perkins. Got to shout out Perkins. They were our baseball team that we brought on, but Joel Smelcher won that one. And then on the girls' side, I saw that Mount Gilead girls finished 9th. No, that's Loudonville. They finished 2nd out of 6 teams. Loudonville girls finished 9th out of 13 in the white division. Mount Gilead 2nd out of 6. So it seems like Mount Gilead cross country, they graduated some studs, but they're Mount Gilead cross country. They
Reload.
just reload, and they continue to go. But Ottawa Hills in that orange division for the girls, 7 of the top 8 finishers. They were all just running with each other the whole time and finished. Then you had Mount Gilead, also some Crestview girls, but also one final shout out I do want to give in that in the girls black division, finishing 3rd from Shelby, a certain Anna Will.
Oh, shout out Eric
Yeah.
Will's kid.
Eric
She's been a
Will's kid
stud the
finished
last couple of years.
third with a 1947, only 5 seconds behind the winner. So, got a will. If there's a will, there's a way. Shelby's got themselves a will.
Oh, she just showed up right there, too, on the highlight.
And
Perfect
then
timing.
girls, the white division, Riley Patrick of Mansfield Christian won the whole thing. So we got some runners once again this season.
Yeah, Riley, too. She's a stud. She's been working towards this her entire career. So
Almost broke 19 minutes as well. 19:02:59 early on. That's pretty darn good.
yeah, look for her to be a big competitor when we get to that Star Stripes and Lights back up there in Attica in just a couple of weekends, Travis. On Saturday, I was at the soccer pitch for an entire day.
Yes.
I saw Clear Fork boys. They lost to Kidron Central Christian, who elite program, put 5 goals on them. The comments are off to a 5-0 start. But I want to shout out Bexley real quick because these Lions have not been able to be the king of the pitch against the Lady Colts. Over the last 3 years, Clear Fork's outscored them 8-0. They come up from Columbus on Saturday. A freshman scores the only goal of the match, and then a sophomore, the keeper, was my MVP of the game. She was on her head the entire time, especially in the second half. Save after save after save, and the Lions get a 1-0 victory. Clear Fork, though, better team in my estimation in that
You
match.
see this happen all the time, though, Brian. I keep bringing this back. The year before Madison girls lost the state championship game, they played Bay up in Sandusky.
Yes.
Much better team, peppering the goal, but just couldn't score. And Bay just gets one of their 3 chances the whole night. They score, and that's the beautiful game for you. Sometimes you may be the better team, but you just can't get it in the back of the net. And the other team, they get a chance, they score, and that's how it is.
Yeah, Colts were off to a phenomenal start. They could have went 4-0 for the first time in forever. 3-0 for the first time, if you can believe it, in like 13 years. So Brittany Bechtel, she schedules very challenging competition at the beginning of the season in the non-league before you get into the MOAC. And then all due respect to the rest of the teams, it's really just them in Ontario competing against each other for the title year after year after year. But they are the defending MOAC champs, and I look forward to seeing Clear Fork in bounce-back season in their next game.
Also, shout out Brittany Bechtel. I believe just got her 250th win. So congratulations, Coach Bechtel, one of the best down here in Utah. I mean, Ontario, Larry Atkinson and Greg. A lot of great coaches around here on the soccer pitch, and that's why North Central Ohio Soccer, I say this every year on the podcast, it's pretty darn good. You have teams from some, north come down for the tournament. Not very often do you see some of them winning district championships, just because the competitiveness in this area and on the soccer pitch. And I mean, by the way, speaking of the Ontario Lady Warriors, there is a certain Skoronsky on the varsity squad getting
Just
playing
one,
time.
I think that's all they have room for. You can only have one Skoronsky at a time in any given city on a team. So looking forward to seeing how Aaliyah develops this year. She only got about 6-7 minutes on opening night and didn't get any time against Lexington. So she's a junior, getting kind of some JV action right now. She's one of the leaders on the team. As it progresses, I'd like to see if she can break into that varsity lineup. So we'll see if she can impress Greg and Larry enough to make it happen. But let's do, since Ontario did just play Lexington, what a weekend for the Purple People Eaters, because it's been Ontario with the run of play here lately. So they have an awesome thing that they do where they get together and they play football, volleyball, boys and girls soccer all within 2 days. And Ontario has swept everything except for volleyball the last few years. Lexington this year, they won everything. They absolutely dominated the weekend too.
Wow. I mean, the football team, that was a good football game. But then, hey, usually the winner of this Lex Ontario, boys and girls, that they're the front runners in the district most of the time, because that just gives them momentum, because it's always a competitive game. It's always, I wish it was played on Football Friday night, but like you said, they try and play everything back to back. But it's a big momentum boost for all 3 teams, even on the volleyball side, because you get a big rivalry win, kind of like Orville and Worcester too. You get that big rivalry win, it just boosts you into the rest of the season. And Lexington, the Minutemen, the new digs, the new school, year number 3 over there, but they're getting it back together.
And the MVP in the game, how about a hat trick for Morgan Herod? Another one I would say very similar to what we saw from Hayden Love, where I recognize a lot of the names on the roster coming back from Lex. Obviously had a Jukovic. How about this left-footed shot from? Oh, I thought that was the one that she hit in there. I was gonna say, dude, she's got a cannon from anywhere. Really good match. I think by season's end, Ontario's going to end up probably with a better overall resume. But for this night, and one match only, Lexington was able to find a way. And they've, for the most part, in these head-to-heads, with the exception of last year where Ontario won at third place 3-0, I feel like they've always kind of frustrated the Lady Warriors a little bit. There it is, game time from about 30 yards out. And she's like, yeah, give me some. So I am keeping an eye on the Warriors. And it was really funny after I made that comment. Larry Atkinson texted in our group chat amongst the parents, but just about some game changes. So I thought maybe he was watching the podcast and was going to be like, tell her to start hitting the weights a little bit more, and then maybe she can get some minutes. I was half expecting that type of comment.
Larry.
But yeah, so way to go, Lexington, for getting it done, winning and sweeping everything. But for the football team to continue to keep winning, Travis, they've got, wow, what a tough test coming up here in week 2. The Shelby Whippets are going to be hosting them, and they're a front runner to not only win the MOAC, but maybe a regional in Division 4, Region 14. And we talked to their star quarterback who's going to Air Force next year, Braden DeVito, after the win that they had on opening night against Madison. And I really enjoyed what he said. We're going to show you just his answer to how were you able to come out and produce given all the expectations and that you met them here in week 1. Here's what Braden had to say.
You guys were able to dominate not only offensively, but defensively as well. What led to the performance that we saw today on the field?
Man, just trusting our coaching staff's plan and going out there and executing. All week we worked really hard and staying locked in, and I'm so proud of our guys. I mean, with all the preseason hype and stuff, none of us let it get to us, and we just went out there and balled out. We've had a sour taste for a while now, and I'm just so proud of our guys.
So I love that, man. Like, they're not reading the headlines. They're staying focused, locked in. And Braden, it was a average night for him, and he had 4 touchdowns and almost 300 total yards. So you look at his numbers and his production from last season, 61 total tutties, over 5,000 yards. He's the most exciting player in the area, and he just has such a great head on his shoulders. The matchup, them and Lexington coming in week 2, I think this is the one to keep an eye on in our backyard.
This has the hype of back when it was Armstrong versus Stover.
Now we're talking.
Those Shelby Lexington games. We got that hype back. This is the game. This is the game of the week in the area, at least the area. But that's, you got D1 athletes on both sides of the ball. You got high expectations for both teams. It's going to be phenomenal football. We're going to have a highlight, right?
Oh, come on, baby.
Right.
We'll have my guy Christian on it, of course.
We got to have a highlight.
He's going to be our resident Shelby highlight artist, and I think we rescheduled so that we're going to have all 10 Shelby games. We're going to have coverage for all of them because it's going to be one of those seasons to keep an eye on, and I decided, business decision, we need to see it all.
Yeah, and then we can pick them up in the playoffs.
Oh, we'll definitely be there during the postseason.
Yeah.
Who does the Whippets better in the playoffs than the OH.Report? I know that Whippets fans really appreciate it when we start getting into tournament and we can do the live streams for their games at home. So that's something that I've been a part of a bunch. I still, on a regular basis.
You're the reason we got our start. The OH.Report got its start was Shelby. One of the main ones.
If I can tip my cap to Eric Will, he gave BS Media Productions our first check. We ran the camera for them and uploaded to the huddle. I charge you way too much, Eric. I'm sorry about that, but you got us started, and we got some fancy new equipment because of it. So thank you guys, Whippets. And we got an OH.Report soccer update.
Taken out of bounds, Shelby Bays wins.
Whoa, 2-0. So I was saying upset. Maybe the upset alert is the other way around. Mounties coming out and striking for 2.
I know Crestview fans are upset right now at that score, I bet. Good grief.
Goodness.
Yeah. Power of the rainbow, man. Power of the rainbow. Before we move on, I do have to. So I'm not going to be doing as many KMAC games this year. I'm trying to, we got to broaden our horizons and things like that. But
Sure.
I do got to shout out the KMAC football lineup. 7-1 on opening night. The lone loss was that 1
By
point
1
defeat. If East Knox gets the 2-point conversion, 8-0 on opening night. Loudonville, speaking of Mapleton, blanked Mapleton 60-0.
Yeah.
Hanaberger's got people
He's
playing down there
back.
this year. Fredericktown, Coach Spittler, congratulations, man. He's back. They're 1-0. They knocked off Highland 21-6. Mount Gilead, Coach Ellis, Coach Reed. I don't know, Mike Ellis. That was Ontario's former baseball coach. But no, Mike
not
Reed,
close.
his squad, 31-6. They were chomping up. They thought they'd do things in the playoffs if they made it. Well, they didn't make the playoffs, but they motivation. They came out hard. 31-6 on Triad. The Golden Knights at Northmore, 16-0 victors, despite losing everybody over Upper Sandusky. Danville with a win, and then Cardington even knocked off Winford. So the KMAC, 7-1 to start. Makes my heart so happy.
It's going to be a great league again this year. I think there's going to be a bit more parity.
Yes.
We knew last year Northmore was going to be the best team and that Danville probably was going to be their top challenger. And then from there was some good football, but not great football. I feel like there's going to be right on that upper crust, just below great, like 5 teams this year.
I
So
think
look out.
Centerburg's got a chance. Coach Spittler, we can't count out Coach Spittler with what he has. Danville as well. I mean, Northmore gets it together. I mean, they are the champs. Until they're knocked off, they are still the champs.
Good point.
Mount Gilead, anybody. Cardington Lincoln's got Wyatt Denny. I mean, and it could be anything. Any team could do it this year. Who knows? You got to stay tuned. We'll have most of it right here.
Yeah, we're the home of KMAC coverage right here on the OH.Report, so you can follow along. I think we're working with, 6 of the teams for their home games, so by default you see them all on the road too. But there's another big game coming up this weekend too, Travis.
A little bit.
It's not all just about high school sports here on the OH.Report. That's right. Sometimes you got to keep an eye on defending national champions. Nobody does it better than the Buckeyes, looking for number 10 this year. But if we want to get off to a hot start, we got to do it against Arch Manning in his very first collegiate start at Texas. Number 1 versus number 2. This has all of the juice behind it. Everybody is looking forward to this one. College game day is going to be down
Lee
in
Corso's
Columbus.
final game.
So is he going to go with a Buckeye nut to close it out just like he started? Does he pick Texas? They're a 54% favorite according to the ESPN predictor I'm looking at right now to win. There are so many fun storylines going into this game, but none better than Julian Sayin versus Arch Manning. The first start for each of these guys in the full-time capacity. A lot of uncertainty, plenty more excitement. Awesome game that they gave us during the playoffs too.
Thank you for Jack Sawyer, and he's going to be
Captain Jack.
Captain Jack, sporting the black and gold of Pittsburgh. But that was a phenomenal game. Like his performance at the strip sack fumble touchdown, that's an iconic moment in the college football season.
I wonder how many times that's been watched on social
25.
media. That one clip.
Well, I mean, y'all Buckeye fans are crazy, so it's probably millions and millions of times. But as should, that was iconic. It was iconic, and this game's going to be iconic. What's Jeremiah Smith going to do? I mean, you got the picture right there, the lucky picture. Brian's. It's like going to a Notre Dame game. Every time he leaves, he has to tap the picture of Jeremiah Smith before he walks out. Like the good juju for that. But
one of a kind.
It's
only right here.
I mean, Ohio State, they lost some key pieces last year, but it's Ohio State. I mean, they don't regroup, they reload.
Well, both teams too. So what's so interesting, the fact that we're number 1 versus number 2, is the fact that we have so much roster turnover. I think Ohio State welcomes back 7 starters out of the possible 22. You look over on Texas's side, I'm not sure that they have anybody back on the offensive line. Arch Manning's going to be coming in. They got a new quarterback. Each of us have new coordinators at certain really key roles. So there's a huge mystery factor when it comes to this matchup, but the expectations are as high as they've been in Texas in quite some time. The people of Austin are definitely chomping at the bit for this team, but Ohio State, arguably the top 2 players in college football. We have one on each side of the ball. Very key positions at the wideout, and of course when we have Caleb Downs at that safety spot. So it's just one of those, you're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out, because we don't have a great understanding yet of either roster, other than what we've seen in the spring game. And by the way, that was in April. So a lot of things have changed.
Yeah, we were still covering last season. But you do have a goal line back. His name's C.J. Donaldson. I have his jersey, but his jersey's in blue and gold because he transferred from WVU last year. Oh. I'm still bitter about that. I got his jersey to pay for his NIL money, and the guy transfers to Ohio State. But you got a back that can pound through defensive lines and linebackers in him. So he's a very good complementary piece to James Peoples, who on the depth chart right now is your starting running back, the sophomore. But I mean, it's Ohio State. I mean, people want to come and play for the Buckeyes, just like Alabama. They're one of the big names of college football, especially after you get one of these only a few months ago.
Yeah, I was going to say Trenton and Travis, but I think because there's so many guys lost to graduation that it's not going to be that hangover type of situation and scenario that I heard Paul Feinbaum talking about, and he's predicting a blowout, 3 touchdowns
He's Mr.
or more.
SEC. He just go back down south, man.
Texas does have a lot of talent. It's going to be one heck of a game, and that's why we have made the executive business decision to not do any live streams on Saturday. We all need to focus on the Buckeyes. We're going to have a highlight, of course, for Ontario girls soccer, because we're doing highlights for all their games, all right? We're just going to be there. It's going to happen. Proud Papa right here. But we got to focus on that football game.
Yeah.
And how much does it shake things up, given that 12 teams get into the playoff now? I don't know. The winner of this game, likely by the end of the rainbow, I think it's a home game when it's all said and done, but it just doesn't have that big of a nuisance on
well,
your
yeah,
calendar.
let me put my bracket hat on here. This is kind of like, you can compare it in bracket terms to Lexington, Ontario soccer or volleyball. It determines seeding, but it doesn't determine who gets into the playoffs. Both these teams aren't going to be, we just lost this game, we need to win out. Kind of like the Virginia Tech loss the last time you won a national championship. You thought, we're done, we can't do this. You're losing. It's a 1 versus 2. We're ruined. The number one, the winner is going to be number 1 and has an easier path to a top 4 seed. The number 1 maybe overall seed, but the loser, you're probably going to be like a 5 or a 6 seed if things ended today. You know, it's about momentum. It's about who is the favorite after this game, because whoever wins this game is probably those odds in Vegas for national champion. Whoever wins this game, those odds are going to go down.
Buckeyes have 4 preseason ranked opponents on their roster. Texas, and then we go 5 weeks until we meet the next one on the road at Illinois. I think that's an interesting team this year.
Yeah.
A team that hasn't had winning seasons or 10-win seasons in back-to-back years ever, I'm told. I just heard that on the radio. I thought that was
that's
something.
Where's the Penn State game?
Yeah, that's at home. That's in Columbus.
Okay.
So that's a
the Texas
big one.
game. You're at the shoe, though. I mean, you got 100,000. I mean, yeah, they have their own facility down in Texas, but I mean, you're coming to the shoe. Now, don't get me started about noon kickoff and stuff. That needs to be played under the lights. It needs to be played under the lights. Fox, come on now. Why? I know it gets your ratings and stuff, but Saturday Night Football is still king because you're playing under the lights and the atmosphere is just so much better. You and I got to experience that when Baker Mayfield in Oklahoma came in. Amazing. I don't like the outcome, but you and I experiences that on the field. I mean, Script, Ohio in front of us, all just the pageantry, the pomp and circumstance before the game, but it's just different when you get down to the shoe at night.
I got to say, it's probably a top 5 environment for a college football game. I hear about down south, and I need to go experience it first before I start suggesting otherwise. But I've been to many Buckeye tailgate parties, and you have to earn those spots. So to be able to be out there, I think you're a paying customer first and foremost. Secondly, to move up and get a little bit closer to the stadium, it just takes years and years. So they're going to be out there. They're going to be partying. It's going to be a wild affair inside of Ohio Stadium, and I'm definitely going to be locked in and looking forward to seeing how the new look Buckeyes perform. And probably not going to see our boy Bob Penn Miller in day number 1 of the season, but he's listed 4th on the depth chart right now at his position. He's going to be playing the X just like Jeremiah Smith, so a pretty good one to learn from. everything I've been seeing so far during the offseason, Bob Penn, he's the tallest receiver in the room. And boy, is that boy lanky. So I think he's going to get some work when they start playing Grambling, Ohio in week 3.
Ohio's going to be down too because in week 2, West Virginia comes to Athens. So, they're going to be knocked. Bogman's going to have a chance to put up big numbers against OU.
You want to hear a fun story about that?
Yes, I do.
I'm told West Virginia fans were actually a lot smarter than we give them credit for.
Yes, we are. I know what you're talking about.
They evidently saw the resale ticket value for games at Ohio were really expensive. So you know what these really smart West Virginia fans did? They bought season tickets for the entire season at Ohio University because it was cheaper than trying to get the resale tickets of their game for just the one. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
And they profit, and then they resell everything back.
Them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
See, we're playing 3D chess, my man. 3D chess. Rich Rod's got us back, baby. Oh, look at that.
Look.
Double rainbow. Double rainbow. One rainbow for each goal Mapleton scored there tonight. Sorry about it, folks, but yeah, that's high school sports at its best already early on there.
It almost looks like a cool version of how they have that technology on the golf broadcast where it can just follow and track the ball.
The tracer.
It looks like the rainbow. The lowest one that's really sticking out. It's going right into the net, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's your pot of gold, back of the net.
All right. So the Buckeyes coming up on Saturday, and you got a chance to hang out with some former Buckeyes
national
this past
champion
Saturday.
Buckeyes, yeah.
Former national champion. What went down in Morrill County?
So it's community night with the Buckeyes. I have the shirt, the Driven Foundation co-founder, executive director Roy Hall Jr. You've had a chance a few years ago. You got to talk to him. The guy, he's legit. And by what I mean is he is doing things right when it is to coming back, giving back to the community. He has this Driven Foundation has earned over not earned, but they've acquired 2.5 million pieces of food or sets of food to where they've fed over 10,000 families in central Ohio through things like the community night with the Buckeyes, things like that. Not only that, but Roy and their group, they go out to high schools around, central Ohio, north central Ohio.
Offensive lineman from.
And they want to start getting into Morrow County more. They're going to have a former Buckeye that's going to be in the schools around here. Roy actually talked to the Golden Knights, the regional champs, after they won last year. But this community night was a cool thing. You buy tickets. Kids got to actually play and go through like a Ken Parrott, the KMAC crew were emceeing this. They had free food, free ice cream. They had a bounce house. They had face paint. And then they had a question and answer. And Roy Hall actually allowed me to hold his national championship ring from last year.
Pretty heavy, right?
It's a lot of bling on it, man. And actually it opens up and has the field, but confetti from the actual field from the championship celebration was in it. But this was such a great night. Kids loved it. Great turnout. We had an auction, actually a lot of cool things, a fire ring. So like you put your campfires, you have the metal ring. That sold for a lot on the auction. Archie Griffin's signed football sold for a lot.
I bet.
A lot of cool stuff there. They had some swag from Mount Gilead, Cardington, Northmore. Mount Gilead, Northmore, I believe some Cardington football players in their jerseys were out there during the camp with the players helping out. So the schools gave back. But also they did a question and answer with all the Buckeyes that were there. Roy Hall Jr., Tyler Everett, Doug Worthington, Brady Taylor, Thomas Matthews, and Solomon Thomas. These are names that you know, but they did a question and answer, and it was phenomenal. Raised a couple $1,000 to go for meals to feed families in Central Ohio and North Central Ohio. And like I said, over 10,000 families have already been fed because of this Driven Foundation. And they go by this, refuse to be average. It's a great cause. I was very blessed and fortunate to be a part of that. And I already told Roy, I said, next year you come back, I will do it again. It was a really great cause, and it was just fun, happiness, love all around the whole night, and a cool chance to meet some national champs and conference champions, all that stuff. It was a really fun night.
Whenever you see somebody that's in a position like Roy has been, where you can use your platform and your former stardom and current stardom still, and be able to do something good for other people, certainly a lot of kids. Roy's been doing that. I think I met him about 10 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, it was actually at a Buckeye basketball game, and then I got to go to one of his events, and it is really sweet. And I think he was just starting to get it off the ground at that time. So now looks like they're doing some big things, and we appreciate people like you, Roy, looking out after our communities, and glad that they're getting a little bit closer up here to North Central Ohio. Obviously done a ton of good already down in Columbus. So kudos to you and Ken Parrott showing up, showing out, helping out, and being a part of that big event.
Yeah, it was a great night. Just the kids had a blast. It was even, we were doing the question and answer, and the kids were just playing football themselves and yelling. And Roy says, I'm not going to tell them to stop, because this is what I want. This is what we want. There's 8th graders down to kindergartners playing football together, celebrating stuff. This is what you want with your youth right now. And it was just some really good messages, some really powerful messages. And it's just nice to see some good being given out in the world with everything that's going on right now, to see people like Roy, who he was a 5th-round draft pick from the Indianapolis Colts. He has his money. He could have done whatever, but it's his purpose to give back, and he's on the campus ministry squad for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Right. So he was able to get that ring because he's still around the team. And they even talked about how the baptism of so many Ohio State players at the beginning of last year, and how that kind of changed the complexion of things. Like, it brought the team together. So they brought their faith into things, all that stuff. But just a really good guy and a really, really cool night.
Well, I'm glad that you got to experience that, Travis. And again, thank you to Roy for making things like that happen for us here in our communities. All right, just one last topic to get to. You don't see us for a couple of months here on the OH.Report.
You didn't see me at all.
We're dedicated. We're driven during the 10 months the high school sports are going on. And then Travis and I, we don't really hang out that much during the couple of months that we don't have work going on, because we're trying to have our own adventures and excursions and travels. And I would definitely argue, for me, it was by far the most coolest active summer that I've ever had the opportunity.
It's the most active I've been as well, yeah.
So, do you want to go first? You want me to jump in? I think I have
You traveled the most for this, so you get to go.
We'll start with, just show the video clip from Colorado. Jory put together, I think, just a little clip from the Yampa River, which is in my hometown of Craig. Just playing out there, me, my nephew, my son Michael, my younger brother Jack. We were all messing around. Or actually, she's got all the adventures here. So, first off, super fun to be able to have a couple of my boys come out. Had one from Florida, one from Montana, one from Ohio. We went to Estes Park, one of the neatest towns in the world. Got to hang out at the Stanley Hotel for a little bit, which is coming up right there and there and there. And that's where movies like Dumb and Dumber and The Shining and many others have been filmed. But Red Rocks.
I was about to say, I am jealous, man. I've always wanted to go there.
Definitely the highlight. And my favorite part about the whole thing, going to Red Rocks, is that we picked going to see a gentleman named Cody Jinks that night. And we were really just signing up for the show because I wanted to go to Red Rocks. I've never been before. I'm a huge Cody Jinks fan now. I don't know if they brainwashed me when I was out there. Something about that mountain air and just that beautiful. It is the amphitheater. It's the only known in the world that is just not made by man. It is 100% natural. I read the whole history and the background on it. It used to be one of the 8 wonders of the world, just the rock formations that are around there. So if you get a chance to go to Denver, Colorado, and you're a fan of live music, you have to go to Red Rocks Amphitheater. It was one of the coolest experiences I've had. My brother's just hit his 100th show at Red Rocks earlier this year, and he was just like, "You're such a dummy that you haven't gone yet." So I might book my next trip back home around the artist that I want to see there.
There you go.
And then I'll go see Mom on the side.
Question, you said it used to be. How do you lose being in a wonder of the world?
Yeah, that's a great question. Might have to look that one up on the internet. I think they found maybe some cooler stuff
Yeah,
at
maybe.
one point.
I mean,
and
the
they were
Houston
like,
Astrodome used to be one. I don't know if it's still built, so maybe it still is a wonder of the world. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just decided not to cap it. It probably still is. I've
Maybe
always
there's a
heard
list.
like the
Every
7
10 years they
wonders.
change it. It's like the census; it changes. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's up
That's
there
what
with
we'll go
like the Sphinx and all that ancient history stuff.
pyramids. Yeah.
Except for they have cool country music and other artists.
Do you want to go with your second? You want me to do with one? No.
Yeah, you go, man.
Well, I had a chance. Actually, it's not in the pictures, but pull up the Hoosier Gym. I went to WNBA All-Star Weekend. You and I were talking. Saw Sabrina Ionescu win the three-point competition. But on our way there, I told Kelly and her friends, we need the one thing I want to do. I want to stop at the Hoosier Gym. And dude, it was. It was a dream come true. I love the movie Hoosiers. Loudonville played there. So
Yes.
anytime a high school team plays there, they get to leave their jersey and sign it if they want to. And I saw that. I was like, that's perfect. So the Redbirds are there. They still have the locker rooms. They're actually some of the teams use the locker room that's used in the movie. You know, when the fan comes down and yells at Norman Dale in his first game, what are you doing? 4 passes? What is this? You know, but there was some older folks that kind of walked you around. There's Larry Bird's jersey and Celtics jersey he came.
Looked like he got skinnier in the NBA. You notice how much smaller?
Right, yeah. But these older gentlemen that actually, one of the guys actually personally walked me around and told me about everything about the movie and the set and everything like that. And it was just, I mean, that's a bucket list. There's the state championships picture at the end of the movie. I actually got to play a little bit, shoot a little bit. It was on Kelly's phone, not mine, but it was me sitting up there with the microphone. They had the old school radio microphone right there. You saw some of the scenes of them calling games and stuff, so I was sitting right there. Like, it was well worth taking about an hour and a half trip off of I-70 to go to it, but it was so cool. I now own a Hickory Jimmy Chitwood jersey that I will be wearing on the podcast at some point. But dream come true. It was like a bucket list marked off, and then we got to see some cool women's basketball. The All-Star game in Indianapolis is such a cool city, and they really did well with all the events and stuff all around the city. But yeah, it was Hoosier Gym, man. It was pretty cool.
I heard you even got to run the picket fence. It might have even knocked down the game-winning jumper in your own mind.
Yeah, we ran the picket fence, and I did not hit the shot though.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you didn't get
shooter.
Your Jimmy Chitwood
I
ending.
didn't get that, but it was we shot around for about a half hour on that court, and it was. You also saw some of the fans that walk in, just the same look that you would look on. You're like, wow, this is pretty cool, and it looks just like in the movie too. Still.
Doesn't look like they changed much.
No.
All right. Well, I saw some pretty cool stuff too. Took me a little bit longer than an hour and a half off of I-70 to get there. A couple of plane rides, maybe a little boat action in there, but I did make it out to Honolulu, Hawaii, on the fabulous island of Oahu, and we saw every square inch, Travis. So we're starting off this video. I did some cliff jumping. Jumped from about 30 feet up. The only one in my family who said that they would do it. Aaliyah went up 2 times, chickened out both times, so I'm the only one who has a cool vid. Pearl Harbor. What a place.
Yes.
Great piece of history. You get to actually go inside of a battleship. You get to check out a submarine. They now have, this only been open for a couple of years, but what you're about to see is the Aviation Museum. And what's neat about those, I don't think I pictured it here in this little clip, but they've got a simulator that I sat in, and it was the worst decision that I made because I couldn't figure out exactly how to fly. And it's like a 1945 version, like you're in an actual dogfight, but I was flipping it around upside down and everything. But this was just a remarkable scene. Kailua Ranch is this place, or no, this is the temple. Buodo Temple or something. I know that it's based off of something in Japan. They built it there in 1950s or something, but just a very peaceful, charming place. A lot of fish floating around in that koi pond right there.
Why so koi?
I just tried to take in every adventure online. It was just, we looked at the TripAdvisor and we did like the top 15 things. We went everywhere because it was all within a hop, skip, and a jump.
Oh, yeah, it's a Hawaii trip. Sometimes for most people it's a once in a lifetime trip.
This will likely be a once in a lifetime trip for us. this was just a night catamaran ride that we went on. We got to do a paddleboard trip with sea turtles. It's
Wow.
wild how many of them are just floating around right next to you. There's a waterfall that you can hike up to, and a lot of movies have been filmed at this location. So, like I said, kind of the what's what of Oahu is exactly where we were. There we are, actually in on the waterfall. Brought the GoPro, got some cool shots. Here's some cliff jumping. So Leah did jump off of a baby cliff. Even Jory, Mama went into one of the little ones, and that thing right there was like a toilet bowl. It was weird. It just like sucked you around.
Really?
All natural.
Current, huh? That's sweet. Wow, that's, yeah. I mean, is it as beautiful as people say it is?
I mean, look at the water.
Yeah.
This is just with my GoPro dipped in there. It's all really beautiful blue. Waikiki Beach it's a spectacle, especially during 4th of July. There's so many people out there, and it's halfway in between America and Asia.
Yeah.
So it's such a huge melting pot of different cultures that it's impossible not to feel like you're just in a totally different galaxy. I know it's technically America, but you're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yep.
So it's not exactly the U.S. of A. that we've been accustomed to know, especially being a boy from a small town in Colorado and then you from West Virginia.
You're right? Yeah.
They got a few different luxuries out there that I didn't exactly grow up with. But just boats galore, different things that you can do, some snorkeling. Saw a lot of really crazy tropical fish, and there's just hundreds of them. That was the most eye-opening thing to me. You go jump in that ocean water, I don't think you realize what's truly surrounding you.
No, you don't.
Until you take a little bit deeper look here.
And I mean, honestly, there's hundreds and hundreds of species of fish that haven't even been found yet.
They don't even know what's really out there.
Yeah.
Fortunately, didn't see any sharks. But this was right up there with the highlight. This might have been the coolest part. So this is called Kailua Ranch. And what this is right now, this background, the mountains that you're seeing, they are considered to be off limits. People cannot go up there.
Oh.
There's a storied fable of this big lizard that gets his head cut off, and he lands there, and that's what that mountain range eventually becomes. So it's sacred to the Hawaiian people. That is called the Chinaman's Hat. You can go out there, but we just took a boat ride around, and a really neat area too, a big koi pond. In order to be able to get out into the ocean to be here, it was man created like 800 years ago. So how they were able to figure out how to do all the channels and stuff way back when, it just makes you realize that human beings are amazing, and we've been figuring out cool stuff for a long time. But you can't go to Hawaii and not get laid, my man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had to go to a luau. One of the cooler parts of the trip for sure is just experiencing the true Polynesian culture. We got to play all of their games. You watch. This is actually a new part of their culture. We learned that too. The fire knife dancing. This hasn't been around forever. This got invented, I think, in Las Vegas like 70, 80 years ago. Somebody came over from Hawaii and started doing it. Now, the knife part of it, they've always been able to spin it and do cool tricks.
Yeah.
But he set it on fire in America to be next level and get people to come out to a show. And now it's considered across all the cultures in the Polynesian islands. If you're a young man and you want to be like a bad boy, you got to learn how to do it.
That's lit.
It was totally lit. I think the last thing we're going to see here is the Polynesian Culture Center. This has been around for a long time, too. And it's like Epcot, except for the Polynesian islands. So you go in here, and you get to experience what all the different islands and cultures have to offer. Different songs, their dances, their games, their cuisine. So I really could not recommend Oahu specifically enough. Talked to a lot of people that said that other islands are their favorite. There's 5 Hawaiian islands. But for me and my speed and liking to be a part of stuff and not just sitting on the beach, to me gets old after an hour and a half. I like it for a little bit.
I agree.
I want to go do stuff.
Yep.
Oahu's got a lot of stuff to do, and I just feel super blessed that we got to do all these different activities, and these are memories. I started making a vlog. I was videoing the entire time we were there, at least in some portions of each activity. So I was hoping to drop it like 3 weeks ago, but
But then, we work.
paid jobs get in the way.
Yeah.
And I kind of put this on the back burner, but I do have a video that I hope the world sees eventually one day. I already voice tracked the whole thing. I've got music on there. I just got to edit it. So one day, folks, you will see my entire adventure to HAWAII. Oh, Polynesian Football Hall of Fame also at the Culture Center. And they've had some really good players. Junior Seau is kind of their main guy that they had featured, but still a few guys that are in the NFL right now.
Yeah. That's it's so cool. Just once in a lifetime deal. I mean, yeah, it's quite jealous. I got to go to a crazy place, not as clean and beautiful as where you've been, but I had a chance right before we started back up. Took a quick couple-day trip up to New York City. Now, I've been up there once before to cover West Virginia's bowl game, but this is actually as a fan. And actually, we landed, got to our place, and went straight on the subway to Citi Field. The Guardians were taking on the Mets, and it was a phenomenal baseball game. Guards had the early lead. The Mets tied it. They had bases loaded in the ninth, couldn't score, but the Guardians won in extra innings, and that made for the subway trip to Times Square so much better. Nobody got on us. This was actually at midnight. We were eating pizza in the middle of Times Square at midnight, and the place is still packed. It was lit up and everything. It's just...
I hear the city never sleeps.
It never sleeps, but it's just unique. It's just completely, it's a different world. You talked about Hawaii, well, in a different way. And then I had a chance to actually go down to 9/11, the World Trade Center Memorial, and it was just, for somebody that experienced it, you and I were alive, we knew what happened. Just to go there, it's like a somber time. You go there, actually, the red bandanaed man every 9/11 on ESPN, the Boston College lacrosse player with the red bandana. I saw his name there. A couple others. Also had a chance, saw the Ghostbuster. It's actually used as a fire department, but it's the Ghostbuster Fire Department. And then some other cool things. But yeah, going back, the World Trade Center was just, nobody's talking. You're just there. You're paying your respects.
Right.
And it's, you can't explain it, pretty much.
Similar, Pearl Harbor has monuments like that where you just feel like you're just standing at attention.
Then we had a chance to go to Barclays Center and watch Sabrina Ionescu take on Paige Beckers. Dallas versus the Liberty, and that place was packed for that game. It was cool. We were up in the nosebleeds, but still, it was a fun experience to take in a WNBA game. Got to get used to it since Cleveland. Hopefully the Rockers, but it was fun. And then we finished on Wall Street that night, and you saw the taco place. I don't like guacamole and pico de gallo and stuff, but you go to that taco place, I had it all. It was good. I mean, I was like, changed my mind on it. Like, legit, it's you go down a side alley into like a side door, and there it is, that taco place. It's just one of those things. Kelly, my girlfriend, she's gone to New York a few times with her friends. She actually has friends that live right across the river in Jersey, and I'm like, where are we going? There's nothing here, and you just all of a sudden pop up in this hole in the wall place that was so pretty cool. And also at the World Trade Center, there's this bar that has just the crests, those patches that like first responders wear. There's one from pretty much everywhere. It's all like covered with these patches and stuff. So it's like anytime somebody comes to the World Trade Center that works as a first responder, they just leave their patch there and it gets hung up and stuff like that. But that was a cool place too. But it was a fun 2.5 day trip right before we got started. Did a lot of sports. Did a lot of sightseeing. My knees were hurting for 3 days after that. It was rough on the knees, but it was worth it.
That's cool, man. I was talking to one of our camera people, and you were talking about the patches. He wants to get custom OH.Report swag where we get stripes like they do in the military and for the police for every year that you've worked with the company to show that you've been around for a while. So we might roll that out sometime.
Like the NFL
this
captain's
year.
patches.
It's something to think about. We could have the Man of the Year patch or something like you're saying too. And then I can attest, being from Colorado where we have a lot of true native Mexicans, and the best place to find the food normally is at the little hole in the wall
Yep.
that everybody else is walking by. But if you know better, you know. Or just at 2 a.m. when all the bars are closing, you'll see some sweet little Mexican ladies. They roll out their little coolers and they just sell like $3 breakfast burritos. I think they're probably about 10 now. But back in my day when I used to party there, you were waiting for that. So when you'd come out, you're like, whoo-wee, dinner is served right here on the curb.
That's awesome.
So good times all the way around. Just happy to be back here, Travis.
Yeah.
I've missed the podcast. It gives me a chance to express my emotions about some things, talk out.
Well, there's going to be more to express next week, and then
Plenty
once
more.
the NFL season starts here in 2 weeks, because you're a Browns fan, and Joe Flacco is going to lead you to the promised land, and
what
the
we're hoping.
other 3 quarterbacks on your roster too.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season up in the Clee. So the best news that we have going for us is we got Bengals week 1. For whatever reason, we own Joe Burrow. So they like to call the Chiefs Kingdom when they were calling it Burrowhead or whatever. I don't know what special name we have for it up in Cleveland, but Burrow can't beat us there. So I'm thinking about getting tickets and going and see if Flacco can get it done just because it might be the only home game.
Actually, I've been
winning
asked. I
game.
may be tailgating up in Cleveland that day for that game.
Just
I'm not
might see
going
you
in. I'm not. You will not see me going into that game, but I may be tailgating up there with my some of my North Central Ohio High School shirts and stuff like that. Just representing.
Muni Lot. A place unlike any other.
You say that again. Oh, well, what are they just going to pick up the Muni lot and move it to Brook Park?
That's why I'm not in favor of this move whatsoever. As a dedicated Browns fan that's been going to many games over the years, the game is secondary to the partying that goes down before the game. The Muni lot is its own universe. I've talked to hundreds of people that have come there from other cities that all say the same thing. We don't have this where I come from, with the exception of I've never been to a Bills or a Packers game there, but everybody else that's come on the road is like, we don't tailgate like this at my home stadium. So it's special, and I'm going to be really disappointed. There's a lot of legal battle going on right now. Can they actually move it to Brook Park? They're saying maybe the stadium's too tall. Is it outside of the city of Cleveland? It is hilarious to see how many lawyers are getting really rich off of this, and we're getting nowhere. Maybe we could save a couple of dollars, give to some free agents, and upgrade. But who knows? I thought that we were going to be the team in the AFC North last year. Didn't turn out so well for me and my predictions, Travis. So I'm taking a back seat to any type of expectations for the Browns this year. I'm just focused on one team right now because I know that we're going to be elite. This man right here. Going to have a huge season, Heisman, coming up. But for now, I think I'm done talking, taking up too much of your guys' time. We'll see you on live streams right now.
We're
If you,
probably
I was
in
going
the
to
second
say,
half. Yeah, we're in the
they
second
had
half
the
of that
weather
soccer
delay.
match.
So check it out, Mapleton Crestview, second half. It's getting tight. It's heating up, even though it looks kind of cold out there. Fall sports.
Don't say that word yet, dude.
When they arrived, we got the fall.
We still got a
weather.
week of summer left, okay? Yes.
But we have only one more minute left of this show here tonight. So, Travis, tell everybody goodbye.
Bye, Travis.